I've lived in New York a little over 10 years now. And it's been incredible, but a lot. It has. It truly, like when I first moved here, I didn't have an apartment ready. I used my job to transfer to move here, but then I needed a place to stay. And I found an apartment with some friends, but the lease wasn't gonna start until long after I got here, so I had to sublet. And so I had to figure out a sublet in Chicago before I ever got here, which means I had to schedule and pay for a sublet on faith. I didn't get to look ahead of time, I just saw pictures. Pictures of wherever that was. Because I get into town. This is like, I get to New York, I got like 2 suitcases and my backpack, everything I got in it, stuffed in it. And then I get to the sublet and I walk in, you know, some of the people I'm gonna be staying with let me in, give me a key, because we're all subletting. Turns out everybody in here doesn't live here. We're just an entire apartment full of subletters. And then they showed me to my room, and I walk through the kitchen, and I get ready to walk to the next room, and the guy showing me around is like, stop, that's my room. What? This is your room. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because this is the hallway. And he was like, no, it's not a hallway. No, this a railroad apartment. And I was like, sir, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. We have railroad houses. I understand the setup. And this is not a railroad apartment because it has quite a lot of corners. A lot of twists and turns to get to other rooms. This is not a railway apartment. This is a hallway. And then he's like, yeah, but I mean, this is the setup. Like, I'm already in this room, and then other guys in the other room, and the other guys in the other room, so that really it's you. Now I didn't know what to do. I had already paid the money, and I didn't have more, because the person I paid the money to wasn't there. So then I'm like, it's either stay here or come up with a little bit of money to get like a hotel room or something. It just didn't make sense. So I was like, okay, I guess I live in the hallway. And so I set my stuff down, and they were like, oh yeah, I know that there was a bed in the picture. And in my head, I was like, how do you know there was a bed in the picture? I thought you were also subletting. It's like, I know there's a bed in the picture, but you know, you could do what I did when I first moved to New York. You could go ahead, go to Target or something, get one of those air mattresses, and just keep returning it before the warranty is up. And immediately I took a step back. I was like, sir, you scam air mattresses? I don't feel safe here at all. He's like, yeah, and if you returned it every 2 weeks, you can keep it brand new. I was like, oh, all right, I'll look into that. And the first night, when I moved to New York, I got here in like the afternoon, was immediately devastated by my living situation, but then went out and went to shows, went to as many shows as I could. And then it came time to come back to my hallway. And I was standing in there for a second, and I was looking around, and I was like, you know what? No. You gotta draw the line somewhere. And so I went into the living room, and I slept on the couch. You know, the couch is all right. And some time passed, you know, we all got along pretty well, except for one dude. There was one dude that kept eating my food and trying to blame a dog that did not exist in this apartment. I came back one day and like the bagel I had just left on the counter was gone. And so I was like, hey, does anybody know what's happening? This is crazy now. Like what's going on? He comes out of his room and he's like, oh, you know, that doggone dog came in here. I was trying to wrestle it from him, but I could still see like poppy seeds on his lips. It's like, did you wrestle it with your mouth? And then after like 3 weeks, they tried to hold an intervention with me. Yeah, with me. The person not pretending there's a dog in the apartment. And this is the thing, this is what bothers me. Okay, obviously it sucks that, you know, he stole some of my food and that he lied about it and everything, but then just to try to keep the lie up, he would make random dog noises in the apartment. Which only gives you more explaining to do. He'd be in the apartment, in the living room, I'd be in my hallway. I'd hear him. And then obviously I come into the living room to see what type of dog keeps eating my bagels. And it would just be him. Sitting there like, he just ran out. No, they sat me down to have an intervention with me, and they were like, you've been making everybody uncomfortable. Because you've been sleeping on the couch this entire time, and the couch is really more of a communal space. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Ooh, I see where you're coming from. Because you know what's also a communal space? The hallway I live in. Even being here for things like the snow, you know, like I'm from Louisiana, so snow is still majestic to me. Whenever it really snows heavy, I'm like, wow, look at it coming down all slow. I still do that thing where I try like trace snowflakes all the way down, make yourself real dizzy. You know, snow is incredible. Except for here. Don't get me wrong, it could be beautiful. If it's gonna be like a real blanket of snow and it's gonna stick, then yes, everything's covered in white, it's gorgeous. If it's just kind of snowing, if it's just lightly snowing, if it's just sleeting a little bit, it is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire life, because it hits the ground, it immediately disappears. It goes into some sort of camouflage mode that's just made for slipping. It'll cake up a little bit, but then it gets all black and gray and brown, and then it starts like getting holes in it. Looks like a monster that's coming to eat you. You gotta have your wits about you at all times. You walking in this slippery, sleety snow. Because if you fall, you have fallen into wet New York. Nothing will make you want to die faster than having wet New York on your back. And everybody know you got wet New York on your back, because even when you get up, look, I hope you can get up. I pray you can get up. Because once you fall, watching you get up would be like a deleted scene from Home Alone, because the ground doesn't make it easy and no one helps you. Nobody helps you. Everybody will go, ooh. Nobody gets close. Nobody throws a hand out because they don't want you to bring them down, because that's exactly what you'll do. I tried to help somebody once. It was tiny. Tiny man. taking these itty bitty steps. You knew he didn't want to fall, because you knew he was looking. He might as well have been 200 feet in the air the way he was looking at this. He was taking weird turns for no reason. He was like, avoid that. No. He was taking rights and lefts like he was driving. And then this man took one step. Just took this one step. And as soon as he put his foot down, he was like, oh. The amount of backwards he flew was unfair for how light the step was. I'm not a physicist, but I imagine that if you're gonna slip like a Looney Tune, you should have been running. Like the fact that this man took such a small step and then he looked up in the clouds, facing the clouds, and then landed. And this man landed, and we didn't even go, ooh, we went, because we were sure he was gone. That fall was up there when like somebody in their 90s take a nap. Because the way he was rested, we were like, because you land on your back, you need to gather yourself. You can't just get up right away. You got to make sure your soul's still in your body. This man hit the ground, was just staring up at the sky. I was like pretty close to him. A couple other people were pretty close to him. And we were all looking over like, we thought, no one said anything, but I could tell for like 6 seconds, we all thought he passed with his eyes open. Because he was over here looking. Then after a little while, this man blinked. And we were like, oh, thank goodness. I don't think my day could have handled a body. And so then I go to help him up. I'm like, ooh, sir, are you all right? Are you okay? And he didn't say anything, he just kept blinking. Then finally, he like saw my hand and he stuck his hand up. And I don't even really feel like I had time. I didn't really have time to grab his hand. I feel like as soon as our fingertips touched, he was like, ha! You know how you gotta be careful when you're trying to, when somebody's drowning and you're trying to save them, sometimes they could fight so hard that they drown you. You know, they over here pushing you down, trying to stay above the water and everything. As soon as I touched this man's hand, he pulled me down in a way that wasn't pragmatic at all. Like, I didn't have my bearings, I didn't have my knees bent, ready to lift him up or anything. He just pulled as hard as he could, and for as little as he was very strong. He was very strong, and admittedly, I'm pretty light. And so as soon as he pulled me, I could feel the whole thing happen. I could feel my hand. I was like, sir, are you all right? And stuck my hand out. And I swear it happened in slow motion. I swear. The way I tried to scream no before my face touched the ground face first. This man pulled me so hard, I hit the ground like I fell out of the sky. And now we both there, laying there, drowning. Everybody saw what happened to me. Everybody else backed up. Everybody was like, ooh, 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 ooh. And now I'm over here fighting to get up. I swear I know how to do push-ups. But there's something about how slippery the ground is in New York, where even when you think you're doing a perfect push-up, you end up just whoop, whoop, whoop. Finally, he and I, as a team, used each other to get up. It wasn't easy, and it took forever. I remember because we were both at least like, okay, if we get back to back, we should at least be able to sit up. I remember sitting on the ground and then turned to him like, you ready? We finally make it back to our feet. Nobody helped us. And we were covered in wet New York. That ruined my entire week. I think I got some of it in my mouth. It's one of the most disgusting experiences you can have. I remember, I thought I was somewhat ready. When moving to New York, I thought, okay, they have a bus system. I'm living in Chicago. I'm used to a bus system. I'm used to a train system. I just got to figure out the schedule, got to figure out my routes and stuff. I should be okay. It was very different than if I had moved straight to New York from Louisiana. I had a little bit of an adjustment, so it wasn't as much of a culture shock. But I wasn't ready for some of the versions of the things here. I took the bus in Chicago, took the bus all the time, but Chicago's on like a grid system. You take this bus, it's gonna go that way. Forever. It'll go that way till you're not in Chicago anymore. You take the bus here. To be fair, it's different in the city. Sometimes in the city, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like here to over here, and it's gonna be miles long or whatever. But taking the bus in Brooklyn, that's the most like carpooling I've ever felt on public transportation. There was a couple buses I would take when I first moved here, when I was like getting my bearings and everything, and I got to know some of the people. On my bus rides, I got to know some of the bus drivers. I remember one who was training, and I could tell he was training because this wasn't the bus route. I try not to be that person. I really, genuinely, I try not to be a know-it-all because, look, I don't know everything. And there are plenty of times where I think I know something and then I end up looking stupid. But I do go home every day. One thing I do every day is go home. And so I'm used to the general look of on the way home. And this bus is on my way home, but this bus is not going towards my home at all. I'm seeing new restaurants. I'm seeing I'm looking out the window and something is wrong. None of the familiar checkpoints, none of them. Also, people keep pulling and he's not stopping. We on the bus, everybody kidnapped. Everybody. I'm looking out the window, I'm not seeing anything I'm used to seeing. I'm like, either gentrification is moving at lightning speed, or we are not on the route home. And finally, somebody said something. Somebody was like, Because you never know, you want to be respectful, but you don't even know what to say. You don't even know what to go, Mr. Bus Driver? Mr. Bus Driver, I don't think we on the way home. Didn't respond right away. Mr. Bus, I don't think this is the right way. I take it every day, and I don't think we're going the right way, and we also haven't seen any of the stops. Because what I tell you, we are not seeing bus stops. We're not on a different route by accident. There's no way to get off. And then this man over here, huh? And I'll tell you one thing that genuinely makes me very angry. It actually really bothers me, is when somebody thinks that the only thing to do when they don't know what to do, the thing that shows strength, the manliest thing to do is just double down. That you could convince me against reality. Like, there's something manly about pretending not to be wrong even when you're wrong. You know? And I'm sitting here on the bus, and this man is over here, huh? You could hear from the panic in his voice, he knew. I don't think we're going the right way. No, we on the way. Well, just in case, maybe you'll let one of us put you back on the right way with some Google Maps. Imagine standing at the front of the bus. No, you're gonna want to take a left here. I love taking the bus though, because I do enjoy bus drama. You always catch people, because the bus, nobody's on the bus for that long, so all the drama that you overhear or all the drama that you witness is like the middle of the story. It's always like a small little pocket. I was taking the same bus for months and got to know one of the bus drivers, and there was this one day I get on the bus, 2 stops later, this woman gets on the bus, arm in arm with this man, walks right up to the bus driver, puts the Metro card in. This is back when they had Metro cards. Put the Metro card in, take it back, looks at him and goes, "Hello, Harold." I couldn't pull my AirPods out fast enough. Because Harold looking shook. This is origin story stuff. "Hello, Harold. How you doing?" "I'm good." It's like, "I want you to meet my new man. His name's Ethan." And Ethan's standing there like he didn't know that this is why they took the bus. Like Ethan not trying to flex on Harold at all. He looked very confused. Like, and then she takes a little turn, start walking down towards the seats. It's like, right after she says, "This is my new man, Ethan," she's like, "We're headed back to his place." Look. Listen to me. I understand that, like, as men, we haven't been great, throughout history and stuff. But it is diabolical. It is clear and present evil to make your ex-boyfriend drive you to your new boyfriend's house. That's crazy. It all happened so fast. She got on the bus. "Hello, Harold. This is Ethan. We're going back to his place. He's an engineer." And poor Harold's sitting there. Close the door. And you could tell he needed a second. He didn't hit the gas right away. Ethan walking back there with his girl, and he clearly feels some type of way. Harold couldn't just let that go unanswered. No, he was about to drive them for his job back to Ethan's place. And he'd know where it was because they hit they pulled. Harold's sitting there and he rubbed his forehead real quick, and then he turned and he was like, "I don't know what kind of engineer he is taking the bus." Ethan was standing there like, "What did I do? I didn't." When I moved to New York, there was a lot that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know, okay? I had no idea that when you went to the bodega, that there would be a cat. The first time I went to a bodega and I saw the cat, it was just me, I'm just being honest with you. I walked in, I was like, okay, unprofessional. Unprofessional. We all got our pets. We all love our pets, but this is a place of business. People don't just bring their cat to the office. Had no idea that the bodega cat was there for a reason. I had no idea bodega cats were there for a reason until I walked into a bodega. That didn't have a cat. And I saw a rat. And I didn't just see a rat. I saw Mr. Rat. Because I walked down the aisle and I see this rat. And there was a time back in the day where there were only a few rats that were this brazen. They all used to be a little bit more skittish. Remember, pre-COVID, pre-COVID, you would see a rat, and that rat had the Christianity to run when it saw you see it. There used to be only a few brave rats, and now post-COVID, they're all pretty laid back. This was years ago when I moved here, but I saw this rat, and living in Chicago, even living in Louisiana, you expect when you see a mouse or a rat, and you make your presence known, they're like, oh, gotta get out of here. No. I walked out, I see this rat sees me. This rat actually looked me up and down. And that's why I was like, oh, the cat. I see. I get it now. No, because you would see these bodega cats, not necessarily friendly, not always down for a little pet or anything. And they'll be perched up too. They always find somewhere that's comfortable for them. It doesn't matter where it is. It'll be on the snacks. It'll be on the saltines you need, but that's where they'll be perched up somewhere. They don't even meow right. First time I heard a bodega cat meow, it was over here. Had that little like quiet yawn. Went to open his mouth. I'm expecting to hear a little purr, something sweet, you know. So, you know what I mean? Something subtle. Not at all. This bodega cat was over here. I was like, this is an uncle. This is crazy. No, I saw this bodega cat out there, perched up. I turned the corner, and I saw a mouse. And I was like, in the same place. The cat was here. Mouse was there. Cat wasn't moving. I was like, okay, unprofessional. All right, you supposed to be at work right now. This. Oh. Like, I get that they're there to serve a purpose, you know. The cat takes care of the rat. But then, different time, I was in bodega. We saw this cat perched up, getting real comfortable. Didn't see a rat in sight. I was like, okay, he's been busy. Doing his job. I'm getting my bagel, and then I hear this cat. And then this cat coughed up a hairball. And I was standing there like, I think I prefer the rat. This is crazy. What happened just now? Was there a cat in him? You know, sometimes one thing is a means to an end, but it's not the best thing either. It can still be pretty bad. Like when Trump grabbed Maduro, right? In case you're not familiar with Maduro, leader of Venezuela, who Trump went ahead and grabbed and kidnapped and brought here. And look, Maduro's terrible. Like, Maduro is actually horrible. Like, two things can be true. I think that as Americans, like living in the US, we want a story to be clear. We want a clear protagonist, antagonist. We want one good guy, one bad guy. We forget that sometimes you could have two villains. Because just because Maduro was bad doesn't mean you can't look at the way Trump would have grabbed him and go, ooh, not like that, That doesn't mean you want Maduro back in, but it's also, what is this? What have you done now? You know, Trump grabbed Maduro, and then he got that man in that federal detention center. He got him in the same federal detention center. This is the same federal detention center that they kept Diddy. And look, Diddy wasn't there because he's been sentenced and everything, but can you imagine? Can you imagine what that day would have been like for Maduro if he was? Like, imagine, you were the president, and then you just went to bed. Very stylish pajamas, by the way. You went to bed. Then you wake up, you getting grabbed. They bring you to Brooklyn. They bring you to Brooklyn, and imagine, I know it didn't happen this way, but pretend with me for a second. You get into this federal detention center and you see Diddy. Looking over like, oh no. You don't know him personally, but you've heard stories. And now you sitting there in like gin pop or whatever. Maybe you just trying to have lunch. And Diddy approach you. Diddy walks up to you, maybe stands over you, leans down and goes, I heard you got oil. And now you gotta disappoint them. Now you gotta get the message across, no, not that type of oil. And Diddy says some heinous Diddy type stuff. He says something like, well, slippery, slippery. They got Maduro in there, in the same places that they kept Tekashi 6ix9ine. If you don't know who Tekashi 6ix9ine is, he's a rapper, allegedly. And he's known for his tattoos, more tattoos than body. Also known for his antics on the street, how he's always involved in some beef or some drama or something like that. He's also known for his colorful hair, these grills, and just his whole aesthetic. It's very unique. It's one of the reasons he got so popular. There really is nobody doing things the way that he did them. It's why he was such a phenomenon. And you're Maduro, and you look over, you see Tekashi 6ix9ine. You turn to somebody, you ask, who is that? You're like, oh, well, that's Tekashi 6ix9ine. And you're like, I feel like my English is pretty good. But I didn't understand anything you just said. You just said a word I've never heard with some numbers. Is he a robot? What happened to the other 68? No, this is the same place that they kept Ghislaine Maxwell, R. Kelly, El Chapo. This is like a real life Arkham Asylum. They got that man in there in the same place. They got Luigi Mangione. Whew. Wow. I don't know. You see things happen in prison all the time. You know, people talk about corruption. They talk about, it's a faulty facility, conditions are bad and everything. And there's a lot of corruption in the prison system. And as long as there's corruption, maybe just leave Luigi alone with a 3D printer. Let him go to work for a little while. Just see what happens. We'll just turn the cameras off, They did it for Epstein. But yeah, Trump went and grabbed Maduro. And if you don't know, because I don't expect everybody to know, I feel like we in the US are not always up on current events in other places, their systems of government and their leaders and everything. But Maduro, terrible. I can't stress this enough. This dude was willing to let 80% of his nation fall into poverty. A country that was rich in natural resources, but he was willing through corruption to let inflation get out of control. He wanted to seize and consolidate all of his power. He did everything to quell protest, and he But yeah, that's the dude that got him. Went and grabbed Maduro. And when you ask questions about what's next, because this is the other thing. This is why it's a sort of fool's errand to defend every one of Donald Trump's actions, because you'll see these people, whether they're pundits, whether they're senators, whether they're whatever, sycophants, whatever, they come out and they give some almost noble or some at least logical reason for this crazy thing that has happened. They'll talk about what type of leader Maduro was, or how the people of Venezuela are living in this poverty. They'll give all these reasons why they went and grabbed him. But then Trump, unprovoked, will make a statement that undercuts everything that they said. They'll talk about bringing wealth back to the country, how this is the best possible thing for the United States and Venezuela, and that the president has the interests of the Venezuelan citizens and the U.S. citizens at heart completely. And then Trump will come out and be like, it was oil. I really just want that oil. Even now with Greenland. What is happening? No one knows what's happening. They're sending troops over there to Greenland. Like, you have people in the EU being like, we're just gonna send some people over to Greenland just to make sure. Meanwhile, Trump's over here, I'll slap tariffs on anybody that disagrees with what I'm doing in Greenland, which is like, I don't know, like the world? Like, people in Greenland aren't happy. People in Greenland are protesting. You know how much you gotta mess up to be protested in a country that you're not even in? Like, you... It's insane. And no one really knows what the plan is. And no one knows what his plan is. I actually think that he's talked about it a little bit too much and he's a little too far gone to just do nothing. You know? He set himself on a path, and because he's the type of person that has a saved face, that never wants to look weak, and for him, strength is doubling down. Strength is just repeating yourself over and over again, even if it's wrong. Strength is just never correcting course, like a bus driver that doesn't know the route that he's going. Oh, it's infuriating. It's infuriating because we're on the bus. Like, we're on the bus. And we're looking out the window like, I don't recognize where any of this is going. This doesn't seem good at all. Greenland, the place with 60,000 people in it, we're really going after them. And he's saying, we need Greenland for national security. All right. What about the national security of Greenland? Do you know what I mean? It's something that he said his first term. His first term, he came out and he was like, I think we need Greenland. And we sort of let it go. We let it go because in his first term, he said a lot of things. You remember. It's almost too many to count. He came out in his first term and he was over here like, hey, look, hurricane come, drop a bomb in it. They don't know me, I'm DJT, all right? I'll drop a bomb in a hurricane, I don't care. Please, I wish a hurricane would. Please step to me, hurricane. Remember he had that chart. He had lots of charts, but there was one chart in particular he had of the path of a hurricane. And then he had drawn in marker the hurricane going somewhere else. And then everyone in the room was like, does he think he can control the hurricane with the marker? He's like, everyone said it was gonna go this way, it went this way. We're like, Mr. President, there are tens of thousands of residents that can attest that it did not go that way. Man was over here saying wild stuff. First term? Look, maybe we could address COVID by... clean it from the inside, you know what I mean? Like, let's try something. Stood in front of doctors and then was like, why don't we try cleaning it? See, y'all not even thinking like I'm thinking. Y'all not even on the level. Y'all over here, ooh, science, science, science. Y'all over here worried about microscopes. Let's look. Let's really get to it. Let's really... Trust me. Trust me. Look. Take a couple sips. You'd probably be right as rain, probably. I don't know. I'm throwing out ideas. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think proactively. You know, you got them over here talking blah, 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 blah all day. I'm over here trying to help people. And then he caught it. I remember the day he caught it too. I was like, oh. He old. Isn't this bad? He caught it that he's old. What's gonna happen? I don't know if y'all remember that time, the way that it was unfolded, but when they announced it, I remember getting the notification on my phone, like, Trump got COVID. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. This is the time to listen to the science, Mr. President. I don't know if you're gonna live by your word, but the bleach right there. And then they pumped them full of whatever you need to survive it. They gave him that good stuff too, because remember he did a he did a walkout that night. Walked out, still on a balcony over here. Ripped his mask off, defiant, was standing there. So much happened first term. He looked at the sun. This man caught COVID and looked at the sun in the same time period. And he looked at the sun like somebody who was told not to look at the sun. Looked up, they were like, Mr. President, don't look at the sun. They screamed it out loud. And he was like, tell him. No, so many wild things were said that first term. Nonstop. Felt like every day something was said. So yeah, of course, you miss Let's Take Greenland. That's like 3 p.m. on a random Wednesday. That doesn't stick out to you at all. I'm an adult now, and I'm one of the first generations of adults that got participation trophies. Like when we were kids, we were that first generation, like give everybody a trophy, build their confidence. But we were also the first generation that got attacked for getting participation trophies. But I didn't give myself the trophy. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't say I need a trophy. You wouldn't believe how disappointed I was when I found out there was a trophy store. I remember going there and just looking around. I was little, but I was like, wait a second. You can just get to say whatever you want. You don't even have to be good at, wow. You can just buy achievements. It doesn't seem right. No. And I look at it this way. If you're a kid that was really good at something, and then at the end of the season or the end of the competition or something like that, everybody gets the same trophy. I can see that kid being upset because they're like, why did I work this hard to be so good and everybody gets the same thing that I get? I understand that argument, right? But I understand it coming from a kid. If you're the adult that's mad about it, but you don't even have like a kid that was competing, you just don't like the idea, you were never gonna get the trophy. That's weird to look at a kid you don't know and be like, they don't deserve it. Why didn't they get anything? It's like, oh no, that needs to be worked out in therapy. That's, oh jeez. Like when I was a little kid, I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be an incredible athlete, you know. Because all my heroes at the time were athletes. They were all people that could do what nobody else could do. They were people that had set themselves apart in their achievements, dedicating their lives to being so good at something that they did it better than it had ever been done before, and maybe in a way that it could never be done again. Nobody could knock people out like Mike Tyson. Nobody could make a game-winning, buzzer-beating shot like Jordan. I wanted to be an athlete too. And so I started on my journey. Played that good old European football, played some soccer, right? And quickly realized that that sport wasn't for me. Because that sport is 90% running. As a child with asthma, it was ridiculous for me to be out there every Saturday morning fighting for my life. I was furious. At one point, I was talking to the coach. I was like, I gotta run back and forth every time, like the ball never gonna come back this way. And I was on this team. Now, the team that I was on, they did this back in the day. This was huge in, 80s, 90s, 70s, stuff like that, but I don't know how much they do it now. Basically, there's no team at like the elementary school or something like that, the community will band together and start like a little league, and they'll get different local businesses, like get like a laundromat to pay them some money for some uniforms, and then that's your name to advertise for them. Y'all become the Bubbles or whatever. And then you end up playing other local kids and everything. And so it's just very important that I point out that I didn't make a team. I was on a team somebody made. There's a huge difference. And I think about this one particular year, because there was this one year I was on the team and there was a kid that was good and a kid that was great, right? And the kid that was good, he was good, he was all right. But what I really loved about being on the team with him was that his mom, whenever it was her turn, because every parent took a turn bringing the halftime and post-game snack. Whenever it was her turn, she would pick oranges from the orange tree that they had, slice them up, put them in a bag, bring them to us. They were some of the best oranges I had ever had. So I was always excited when it was her turn. And there was this one particular Saturday where it was not only her turn, but the same parent that brought the halftime and post-game snack led us in the pre-game prayer. This is the Deep South, so we're going to pray before everything, right? And so we're all in a circle with our heads bowed and everything. And it doesn't take me long to notice that his mom is actively praying against the other team. Like, we all standing there holding hands, heads bowed and everything, but then at one point she's like, and you're in control of all things, Lord, so if you want an ankle to roll, let it roll. I kept my head bowed, but at one point I was like, does anybody else hear this? I don't think that's how you're supposed to pray. And there was one time the adults were talking, so I just, kept to myself. I didn't say anything, but I overheard her being like, oh, I hope he sticks with it. I think he's good enough to get a full ride scholarship. And in my head, I was like, ooh, we're 8. He barely better than me, and I'm not good. You better start saving. Because it's very hard for an 8-year-old to show like any sort of like athletic prowess, especially in a game like soccer. Because the kids that score goals, all they really have is a basic sense of distance management. Like they know to kick the ball far enough that they haven't kicked it all the way away from them, but they're also not dribbling all slow. They keep it at a good distance, and then, especially if they're running, they're going towards a goalie who's also 8. They're going towards a goalie who's also 8 years old, and somehow, no matter how much practice he is involved in, is not prepared for this. And so then they kick the ball to the left, the goalie jumps to the right out of panic. And so he scored the goal. It's not impressive, but he scored. There was a kid on our team that was good, but then there was a kid on our team that was great. Truly great. Like I had never seen anything like it. This kid could pull the ball back, kick it up in the air, jump in the air, kick it in the goal at an angle, come up grass stained, goal! He was on our team and sometimes I'd still be upset. One time he did that exact move and I was like, y'all must be practicing him extra because I didn't see any of those drills last week. And there was this one weekend we had a tournament. Now a tournament, okay, no matter how much money the parents were willing to try to raise or pay to keep their kids involved in this thing, nobody was willing to pay to bus us around the tri-state area every weekend. So every tournament had to be done in a day. And so if you won, you had to keep playing games until the end of the tournament. So if you won, you just kept playing in the hot Louisiana sun. Winning was a punishment. And there was this one Saturday, we got a kid that's good and a kid that's great, so we've been winning. This is our third game. And the kid who is great has scored 4 goals before the half. That's a lot. All by himself, 4-0. They haven't scored on us at all. And it's not because our defenders were good. Our defenders were trash. I was one of them. And this kid is scoring all the goals, but it's not because he's being a ball hawk. It's just anytime we get the ball, we pass it to him. I wasn't trying to be a hero, mainly because my coach said, don't try to be a hero. In fact, when the ball came to me, I was like, you know what to do with that? And so this kid is zooming down the pitch for his 5th goal. And the defenders on the other team are devastated. The goalie is embarrassed. And as he's coming towards him, one of the defenders sees him coming and just steps out of the way. Steps out of the way and at the last second puts his foot in the way and pushes him down as hard as he can. And then the defender on the other team, that kid's dad, stands up and goes, let's go, Henry. Let's go, play hard. Which was a huge mistake because now the dad on our team knows who to hit. So then he got up and started walking across the field through children like traffic. We still playing it. He over here locked in. And he walked up to this other dad, and I can't hear what's being said because I'm a defender on the other side of the field, but I see them getting closer and closer. You can tell with the body language that they're both very tense, and then I hear some mumbling, then I hear some yelling, and then the dad from the other team hauls off and pushes our dad. Our dad falls back a little bit, shakes his head, and goes, bah! Right? Now, this is a team full of dirty players and dirty parents, because then parents from the other team tried to jump our dad. But then our dad was like, anybody can get it. Anybody, okay? He started kicking and punching and elbowing and kneeing and headbutting. A few people, I'm pretty sure, were trying to get out the way. And then Henry sees what's happening to his dad and the other parents on the field, and so he starts running down the field. Leave my dad alone! And he runs up behind our dad, climbs him like a little spider monkey, and wraps his arms around his neck. Now, our dad can't hit this kid because he's right behind him, but he can use him to hit everybody else. He started spinning around as hard as he could. Little Henry hanging on. Grown men were catching cleats in the face. And I was just standing there like, that's the most athletic man in the world. That's who I want to be when I grow up. And so I can understand that, you get to the end of a season, and then we all get a trophy. We got one kid on our team that's good, one kid on our team that's great, and then I was looking at my trophy like, all right, y'all could have at least made them different sizes, because I was really just present. I'm not gonna lie to you. Think about that now as an adult, and there are some parts of the concept of a participation trophy that are wild to me, if I'm being honest. Like, who would have thought that the Nobel Peace Prize would basically become this sort of participation trophy? You see this woman handing over her Peace Prize to Trump. Not that peace is a competition, but even if it was, he lost. Oh, it's so crazy. Why? I don't know why he cares about it so much. Obama did get it, didn't he? Obama did get it. That's true. Even holding it, it's like, you don't really believe that one's yours. There's no way. There's no way. I know his brain is soup, but there's no way that he actually believes it works like that. It doesn't even have your name on it. That's like letting your friend hold your diploma and then he thinks he's a lawyer all of a sudden. Like, that's crazy. Not a man of peace at all. You know? See what's going on in our own country. You're willing to go to war with your own people. You know? Threatening the Insurrection Act. That's, man, sometimes irony's annoying. You literally led one. And then like, I can't stress this enough. Trump threatening the Insurrection Act for a protest in Minneapolis off of the actions of an ICE agent who also didn't need to be there, because remember, they're looking for Bond villain level daycare Somali swindlers who somehow sucked up all the money in the world and brought it to Minneapolis. Like, this goose chase you already created is why this thing happened that the people are protesting about, that most of the people in the country literally agree with the protesters, and you're willing to send in the military for the insurrection that you invoking the Insurrection Act is like, it's like Diddy being like, pervert, like that. I've been so fascinated by what has turned out to be Women's Week in Space. Could not have seen this coming. Truly could not have seen this coming. Okay, so basically, just to bring you up to speed in case you are just like living your life or whatever. There was a Blue Origin They went up. I don't know what to call it. Because some people get offended when you call it a trip, but then other people get offended when you call it a mission. So it was a flight. It was a flight to space. So on this flight to space, on this Blue Origin flight to space, you had Carrie Ann Flynn, who's a film producer. You had Lauren Sanchez, who is Bezos' fiance. You had Aisha Bowe, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and she's an actual like aerospace engineer. And then you had Amanda Wynn, who is a bioastronautics researcher, which when I saw the words together, I was like, every once in a while you'll see somebody who has a job or a field of study that makes you feel dumber than is fair. Do you have it? Because you'll just be living your life and then they'll be like, I'm a bioastronautics researcher. And it's like, all right, is that Iron Man? What do you... I don't know. She went to Harvard, so you had Carrie Ann Flynn, you had Lauren Sanchez, you had Aisha Bowe, you had Amanda Wynn, you also had Gayle King, and then you had Katy Perry. You had this set of individuals come together to go up in space. So here's what happened. Basically, they went on this Blue Origin flight. Now, Blue Origin is owned by Bezos, and it is like space tourism, pretty much, where they will send you up there, you'll fly up there, and you'll look around, and then they drop you, but it's like completely safe. And there was a bell. I don't know what the point of the bell was, but there was a bell that they rang before they got in, and ringing the bell was how you could tell that Gayle King didn't really want to go at first. Like that, that was tough. In case you didn't see it, I think Aisha had just rung the bell. She was all happy. She was like, yeah, you know. Gets into the little craft, and then Gayle's walking up behind her, and she goes, I've only seen that face one other time, and it was when my mom was trying to teach me how to drive. I love my mom, and I know my mom loves me, and I know that my mom, but she believes in me sometimes too much, you know? Like, my mom would say the stuff that parents are, like, quote-unquote supposed to say when you're a little kid. You can do anything you put your mind to. Ooh, you know, you may not get it now, but if you work harder, you're smart enough to figure it out. All of the positive affirmations you're supposed to give a kid to get them to accomplish something down the line, something difficult, right? Something that may seem nearly impossible. And I really believed my mom when she told me these things. When my mom told me, oh, look, you may not be the fastest, the strongest, you may not be able to grasp something right away, but if you put your mind to it, if you put your mind to it and you read that sentence over and over and over again, eventually you'll get it. And then if you keep doing that with the whole book, you'll understand it. You know, it's just, my mom was, always imparting on me that enough attention and hard work could get you to the places that talent got other people easily, you know? And these are important lessons. I look back at the things that my mom said, and not only are they true, but I wish more people heard them, because sometimes when you just pump somebody up too much initially, you give them a false belief that they'll just get it or it'll just come to them, and then when it doesn't, they're more likely to give up, right? Whereas if they're told off top, you're not that good at this, they'll know that there's something to work towards, and that the thing is possible, that everyone who ever accomplished anything wasn't already good at it. It took work, it took perseverance and everything. And I believed my mom when she told me all these things, until it was time for her to teach me to drive. Because when we got in the car, my mom was making a face that didn't exactly say you can do anything you put your mind to. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like if I could do anything I put my mind to, I'm putting my mind to driving, and then you get in the car with me, you sit in the passenger seat, and you going. I'm starting to think that there's more to this whole thing, you know. And so Gail walked up. They all get in the craft and they all pop off. They all get in the... It was shaped weird. But I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a physicist, I'm not a scientist, so I will be using the wrong terminology a lot. Be patient with me. But this rocket craft, this, it wasn't a ship, because a ship feels substantial. You know what I mean? Like the Death Star feel like a ship. This feel like the tip of a rocket. Feel like they got in the tip of the rocket. And so they in the tip, and they leave, right? And so they but up, you know what I mean? Like they driving but up, right? And so they shoot right up into the sky, and they're gone, right? And I thought when I heard about it initially, I thought, oh wow, they're gonna be gone. I didn't know anything about Blue Origin. I didn't know anything about the flight. So I thought they'd be gone for maybe, who knows, like a week or something. Like I thought it was gonna be. I was like, man, Gail gonna miss some. You know, Gail King's on the morning news. She gonna miss a couple of days. You know? Like Katy Perry's got a whole tour that she's starting on. Like, and I'm sure that, you know, Aisha. Like I'm sure the people with like jobs I can't pronounce also have somewhere to be. So I'm like, they're gonna be gone for like a week, and then they came back almost immediately. It was 11 minutes. I didn't know it was gonna be 11 minutes, and honestly, 11 minutes. Because here's the thing: the whole thing is a very cool sounding thing, and I've never done anything like it in my life. So I'm not diminishing what it must be like to go up that high. I'm just saying I've been on runways for an hour, and I feel like for what it was, they should have got some more time up there. That's just me. I'm not. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, if you go ahead and you do all this stuff to go up there, like don't make it a high five. Like let me be up there for a while, and then they come down, and it looked like they landed hard. Now I've both heard from friends, and then I read a whole thing about how there's this thrust that they use with the landing where it basically goes off one time to sort of soften the blow a little bit on the way down, and it goes off one more time to make sure that you don't slam into the ground. That being said, enough dirt did move that I thought they slammed into the ground pretty hard. I thought they were all going to be flat when they opened the door. When I saw that, I was like genuinely worried. I was like, that look, oh, like it made me by myself sitting in my apartment go, oh. And it doesn't help that the audio also doesn't sound great. I don't know if you've heard the audio of them coming down, but they're up there in space and they're floating and everything. And then when it's time to come down, all you hear is, like, it's the most garbage, like, It made it sound like they were hurting them in there. Like, like, no, listen to it for real. It sounds insane. And don't get me wrong, if it had been me in there, I can confidently say, if it had been me in there with them, you wouldn't have heard anything. You wouldn't have heard anything because I would have already passed out a hell of a long time ago. I would have passed out so fast. As soon as I saw Earth coming back fast, I would have been like, nope, thank you.
You wouldn't have caught me screaming because I would have been unconscious. There's no way. I wouldn't be up here. At most, you would have got a. Like that's all I'm hitting you with. No, it was that was crazy. That was crazy audio. It honestly felt like, okay, because it did low-key feel like what happened in the landing was like somehow everything Gail was worried about going up. You know what I mean? Because this is also what happened. The only other time, I know I was talking about my mom teaching me to drive and everything, but I think the other thing that makes you make a face like that, like ring the bell, and then walk towards the flight ship. I think the other thing that could do it is like a bad pep talk. There are good pep talks. There are pep talks that like really bring it out of you. The thing that the person saw in you that was giving you the pep talk, it comes out through their inspiring words, right? You see it a lot in football movies. They're like, "Coach, we can't." "Coach, we can't get another touchdown. They big. They big and we not as big. Coach, we can't do it. All right, they're big and they're pushing this way and we're trying to go that way. Coach, it's impossible. We cannot get another touchdown. I know all we need is another touchdown to win the big game and not feel like losers, but it'll never happen." And then the coach is like, "You listen here. You listen to me. Because I'm the only one with a discernible accent in the film." You can tell me all day what you can't do. But even when you say it, even when you say you can't do it, you know what's in there? It's can. Keep saying that you can't do it. Keep saying that you can't do it. Every time you say you can't do it, you're saying you can do it, but you're adding extra. You don't need the extra. You can do it. You can do it if you just want it bad enough. How bad do you want it? How bad do you not want to be a loser? This team, they beat you every year. That's why we're doing the film. Every year, they beat you. We covered it. And we even covered in the foreshadowing that one of you is going to have a lifetime injury. But every year they beat you in this game that doesn't really mean anything. But you put your bodies on the line to lose out of fear. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You got to put your bodies on the line one more time. This is your very best I want from you because this is it. You're seniors. This is all you have. Some of you are barely going to graduate. And none of you are making it to the NFL. So unless you want the last game that you ever played in your entire life to be a loss, you'll go out there and you'll put your joints, your tendons, your cerebellum. You'll put your knees, your ankles, your Achilles, your MCLs, your ACLs, your finger joints. You'll put it all on the line, all for the sake of that American pigskin to get to the other side. Because this is war. This is exactly like war, except you're not really fighting for anything. And when you win, you win. When you make it to the other side, when you get that touchdown and you're standing there and they topple over the field goal post, which is going to cost thousands of dollars. And everyone runs on the field to try to lift you up and they hurt their backs because they're old. But you're all this town has because industry left decades ago. And so they'll try to lift your oversized bodies on their shoulders. But it won't work because everyone in this town somehow has sciatica. So it's not It's not going to be pretty, but when they lift you up, and you, quarterback, when your girlfriend tells you she's been keeping it from you the entire season, but she's pregnant, you'll be like, wow, at least my son's going to have a winner as a father. And you, running back, when you're holding your leg, hoping it's not that bad. It is that bad, by the way. Hoping it's not that bad. You're dragging it, trying to celebrate with everybody because you're behind, because everyone sort of ran to where the touchdown was and you were hurt, so you couldn't get there, and then everyone trampled you, but you got up, which is important. When you're all lifting your helmets like they're the helmets of warriors, I want you to think about this speech. I want you to give yourself this speech every day that you go to a job that you hate. Because this is how you're going to get through life. This is an all-American pep talk. Now go out there and win. Or don't and hate yourself for the rest of your life. But go out there and do it, right? I felt like Gail got a way worse pep talk than that. I feel like Gail's pep talk was just like, girl, why are you so nervous? You ain't gonna die. You know how hard it is to die? You're not gonna die. Just because you're going miles above the earth and then they shoot you in there with fire, you're not gonna die. It's just, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a little explosion under you, and then that's gonna shoot you up in the air, and then you'll be in space. You'll be be floating. And I'm sure they got it under control. I'm sure you're not gonna float forever and then never come back. I don't even think they would let that happen, all right? And then when you come down, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure you won't be like, oh! Like, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. When you head back down, I bet you it's gonna be so smooth. You're gonna be floating down in a little parachute they do, and then I guarantee it. And then when you fall, you know, when the little craft hits the ground, you won't break your back at all. You know what I mean? That's already been done. We talking research in the 60s and 70s where people came back down and broke their whole back. That's not you, okay? That's not gonna be you at all right? All you gotta do is just trust the experts that have already built this thing. Trust the people that trained you and went through the process of what's gonna happen. And trust that, you know, at the end of the day, God is in control. So if it's your time to go, it's your time to go anyway. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you do all the math you want, but if the Lord wants you, he'll take you. And that's, you know what I mean? That's not, you know, we not on our time, we on God's time. And so if God wants you to die right now, you be dead. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you worried? Just, you know. You made everything right with everybody before you went, right? Like, it's not like you even need to. I'm just saying, like, when they close the door, just ask for forgiveness, and then let what will be, you know? Que sera, serat. No, she just looked like she got one of those rough pep talks that had her like, okay. And they went in there. And when they shot up, they had about, I had to read this part, I wasn't sure, but they had about 4 minutes of like weightlessness, which I thought was zero gravity. It turns out it wasn't actually zero gravity. They were falling, but slowly, because they went up to the, I'm gonna mispronounce it, but they went up to like the Kármán line, and the Kármán line was discovered by this dude named Kármán, named after himself. That's what dudes tend to do. It's my thing, so just so you don't forget who brought you here. But yeah, Kármán was, he was German. And, you know, I had the absolute pleasure and the honor of going to the Jet Propulsion Lab today and getting a tour. Well, don't clap for me. I didn't know anything before I got there.
But I got a tour, and they were explaining that Carmen was German, but he came over before. He wasn't a Nazi. He came over before everything really popped off in Germany, and then he actually helped develop rockets to shoot at the Nazis. He was kind of the most opposite of a Nazi you could be. He was kind of like, hey, get them, right? Which did make it awkward when we brought those Nazi scientists here. That's gonna be a quiet day in the lunchroom. Woo! You just eat your sandwich, it's like, oh, hello, Hans. I see you made it out. Beautiful weather. Yeah, basically, they went up to the Kármán line, and then when you go past the Kármán line, that's like when you're like in space. Now, admittedly, I didn't know any of this, so I thought it was all space. I thought as soon as you left, it was space. I'm not saying I've ever been on a flight and I was like, ugh, space. I'm saying like they were high enough that they saw the moon and they saw like the corners of the earth that just looked cloudy, and I was like, that looked like space to me. That's very spacey. And what I loved about them floating, so a lot of people gave them like a ton of flack as if they were just taking selfies the whole time. It's not they were taking selfies, there's just cameras in the thing. They were looking at the cameras, but the cameras are above the window, so everybody's like, why are you looking at the camera? Look out the window. It's like, no, they were looking at both. They can see the window because the camera's right above it. And so they were looking in the camera some of the time, but you can see where everybody's looking out the window too, and they were weightless, so they were all excited. They're like, oh, look. And they were like, one of my favorite things was at every stage, there's just so many there's so many shots of Katy Perry floating in front of the camera that were genuinely very fun. Like someone will just be in the middle of like, and then Katy Perry. Man, yeah, that was great. That was dope. Like, and she just had stuff too. There was one point she had this daisy, and I was like, all right, yeah, I guess. She had like her tour set list and everything. I was like, y'all let Katy bring anything she want on the flight. That's wild. Man. I was half expecting Katie to bring a picture of Katie up there. That was dope. And they were having fun up there, you know. It was nice to see people, you know, have fun. Then they came down and everybody was so mad. Everybody was so mad at them. Everybody treated those 6 women like they were another reboot of an all-female Ghostbusters. Everybody. People were so mad at them. They landed and people were like, why'd you go in space? Why were you floating, Katie? Like, geez, sorry. Man. And admittedly, they got out, and I did see Katie's interview. Right when she got out of the craft, and look. All right. I'm gonna do my best. Okay. I know when somebody is like annoying or odd,
online and you say one thing, you're one person that says one thing, it's not, in your mind, that big of a deal because you're one person saying one thing. You might not even be saying anything that nasty. You're one person saying one thing. But if 10 million people all say something, we are now piling on one person who didn't do anything but be, I don't know, I guess a little tone deaf or annoying or whatever, right? So quickly, what could have been like a couple people being like, that's not it, turned into the entire internet being like, oh, send her back. That's me quoting Wendy's. You know Wendy's, the sandwich company. You know Wendy's of baked potato fame? Wendy's. Wendy's was like, send her back. And then even, Katie's team shot back at Wendy's like, how dare you wish death on Katy Perry? It's like, all right, both of y'all need to chill because she didn't die the first time. They just said send her back. I don't think anybody's wishing death on her. And then, she had her interview, and I've been the person who has tried to help the person who didn't hear what they sound. Okay, a good example is there was a foreign exchange student one time at my school, and whenever people transfer, especially like the year has already started and they transferred, right? That is an easy target for other kids. That's a kid that's not, I'm not saying they have to get bullied, but are potentially gonna get bullied because now anyone who is at the bottom of like the high school hierarchy, there's a new person. We don't know anything about this person, so unless they prove that they're very, very cool, very, very quickly, they can be at the bottom. And because no one wants to be at the bottom, the people that were at the bottom also pile on this person, right? And so I remember just being in conversation with people like, hey, chill, leave them alone. I know they're a little odd. I look back, I was bullied. I was bullied when I was a kid. And now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, bullying is wrong, but I do see where a couple of them were coming from at certain points where I was doing the most. Like there were a couple times I did open myself up to some scrutiny. Yeah, I mean, like there are a couple of days that I could have not been humming some musical theater number so loud in the boys' locker room. Like I could have not invited some of that in. I know I was just being myself, and everybody should be allowed to be themselves, but there's also common sense. And I don't know. Yeah, I was definitely in that situation one time as a kid. And I was like, hey, look, I know that they're different, but they're different. Just chill, right? And then one time they took out all the crystals, put them on the desk. Class hadn't started yet. All the crystals on the desk. Everybody, what you doing? It's like, oh, these are my crystals. And then I was like, all right, y'all, just be cool. Be cool. And then they grabbed two of the crystals and they're like, brrr. I'm like, nah, see, you're not helping me help you. You see you're not helping me help you right now. Who else in the class? Who else doing it? I'm not saying don't be an individual. I'm just saying you know these aren't good people around us right now. I don't want anybody to be just bullies for being themselves, but yeah, she comes out and they ask her, some questions. And admittedly, this is the other thing people got to keep in mind. That some of the questions they asked her were a setup because that person interviewing her was not like a journalist. I'm pretty sure they worked at Blue Origin. Because the first thing they say to her is like, you're officially an astronaut. She didn't say that. They said that to her. And she was like, thank you. And then they were like, tell me how you feel. And she was like, I feel so connected to love. Y'all be cool. See what I'm saying? You see, this is how it happens. I know. I heard it too. I know. But y'all be cool. Because Katy Perry was doing a lot. In fact, Gayle K, they asked Gayle K, they were like, hey, what was it like? And then she was like, oh, we get up there and Katy actually sang. And we were up there. She sang "What a Wonderful World." We were up there. And to me, just to me, that sounds like a little too much. We only gonna be up here for like 5 minutes. I don't know if I want to be floating listening to what you've elected to sing to us. It wasn't like they were floating like, Katie, now! Like that wasn't... I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not saying anyone didn't enjoy it either. All I'm saying is that that's what Gail Cake said, and when she said it, I had hoped. This is what I genuinely want from the bottom of my heart, is for Katy Perry to have sang What a Wonderful World like Louis Armstrong. That would have been fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's a Katie I can get behind. If Katie was, I see it in the rain, railroad through. Floating? If Katy Perry had been floating, singing what a be amazing. Oh. That would have been incredible. Look, that's the thing that I don't know how much they paid to take that flight. I would pay that much money to see Katy Perry do that, floating. That'd be amazing. But you just, in your heart, you kind of know that's not what she did. You know what I mean? You know she did it in the most, like, theater kid way possible. You know what I mean? You know, they in space, they float, and you know she was like you know that. Go ahead and plug up that one ear. Try to find the note somewhere. And you floating too, so it's extra hard to find. People were so mad. I didn't even know, like, I don't admittedly know much about space at all. I don't at all. That's the wildest thing, is that I shouldn't even tell you this, but basically, okay, so I went to the Jet Propulsion Lab and they showed us this, these arrows that are basically tracking pretty much like all the things that are known, right? So pointing at Mars, pointing at certain, like planets, moons, everything. And the arrows will randomly change based on what they're pointing at. And admittedly, this is how dumb I am, right? I was confused when everything wasn't just pointing up. I'm not a flat earther. But I can't see how people get there, because in my head, it said Mars and then it went left, and I was like, Mars ain't left. This thing broken. Mars ain't left at all. That's crazy. Mars supposed to be up. I'm getting an attitude in my head. I'm like, Mars supposed to be up. What you mean Venus down? That's where China is. People don't have any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild. They just It went to point at Saturn, and it was pointed at me. I was like, this thing broke, dog. I'm telling you. No, I don't know much about space, and there were so many people that were like, they faked the whole thing. They didn't even go up. They never went up at all. The whole launch was AI, and then when they landed, that was a tape from a different time, because those people definitely died. And it's like, no, they don't need to fake it. They don't. I'm not trying to come out in support of like Blue Origin specifically, but it's like they don't need to fake it. This is like the 11th one that they did. They did like 10 of these already, and no one cared. Like, they didn't do the whole press run like they did for this one, so they just did 9 of them in peace. The first one that they did, I think, was William Shatner was on it, and he was like, I was saying all this space stuff, and it's like, bro, you also Like that is the one thing I'll say. That is like the one critique that I have of the internet's response to this, is that it's like, a part of me is like, y'all are mad because it's all women. You know what I mean? When William Shatner got off and he was saying all the space stuff, you were like, oh, William Shatner got to go to space. That's so cool. And it's like, yeah, that is cool. That it's cool for anybody to get to go to space because it's space. It's rare, you know? But you can't let him off the hook for saying like hoity-toity stuff just because he played space. This is my thing. Maybe I'm the only one that feels this way, but I was happy for Gail that she got to go. I know that she's not, you know, like an astronaut. I know she's not trained in this sort of thing, but Gail needs a break. We make Gail interview everybody before their life fall apart. We made Gail interview R. Kelly right before jail. Don't act like you don't remember that. We made Gail sit there. R. Kelly know he going to jail too. You could smell the jail on him. He knew he was going to jail. That's why he was sitting there, didn't know what to do. He was half singing, half crying. Is this working? Sweating. People coming up to blot the sweat off. And you're like, y'all killing me! Hitting notes while he screams. Gail had to sit there the whole time. Robert. Robert. Are these cameras on? I hope these cameras are. Robert. Gail needed a break. Let her have a break. You know, let her go to space for a second. Because there's not that many differences. Tons of similarities in the people who went up to space and the people that went to Coachella. There's a ton. Both have potentially horrific bathroom experiences. You know what I mean? Like true, imagine, because first of all, you at Coachella, right? And you just trying to get through your day, see your favorite bands, have experiences with your friends. You're financing this thing. It's gonna take you months to pay off, trying to make the most of it. And so maybe, yeah, you had a chili dog before you came. Now you're standing there, sort of stand dancing, listening to Weezer. Sick riff comes in, and right then you feel it. Not a quiet one. A quiet one is your body telling you, hurry. You ever have one of those quiet ones that like, it's just a moment, and only you know it happened. You're the only person in the world that knows. It reminds me of those moments in a horror movie where a little kid's like, run. So you book it. You go out of whatever badge area you have and everything. You don't care about anything. You're just running, trying to get through. And what do you find? A line. A line, to use one of the most blown out porta potties in the history of America. This thing, it's like a little wooden. It's like they're not even supposed to be wooden anymore. This is from Woodstock, 1977. Same thing. You know, maybe try to make the most of life. You get this incredible experience. You get to go to space. You get to go to space with these incredible new women that have come into your life through this experience. You've had your 2 days of training together, getting to know each other, doing this like op-ed together and everything, and you try to enjoy life to the fullest. And so you do. You get ready to go on this space trip. It's going to be 11 minutes, but they're going to be an incredible 11 minutes of your life. And so yeah, before you leave home, you have a chili dog. have a chili dog, and you're walking on, and you ring the bell. You're having a good time. You strap in and everything, and right as you strap in, you're waiting to take off, and you hear. They take off, you feel a couple G's, you're like, no. You get into space. You almost touch the Kármán line. Then you hit the ground. You hit the ground. Plop. Okay. I made it. 11 minutes. I held it together. You pop out of the little pod, trying to calmly look for the nearest bathroom. Everybody clapping. Oprah there, the Jenners, everybody clapping. And then somebody runs up. How's it feel to be an astronaut? Can I tell you in 5 minutes? Oh, there's a ton of similarities with Space Trip and Coachella. Both cool outfits. People at Coachella usually make theirs, but they have these cool suits made and everything. Both things sponsored by Amazon, sponsored by Bezos. Both things yield really interesting, esoteric captions on Instagram. They ask Katy Perry how she feels, and she goes, "I feel so connected to love. This is the most powerful spiritual loving experience I've had, second to the birth of my child," right? And be honest. Tell me that's also not Instagram caption about Coachella. Like if we're being fair, when I watched Katie's interview right out of the pod, I was like, y'all clouded this woman just because the edibles hit. Everyone was so mad. They were so mad. And I don't even think they're mad at Katie or any of those women. I don't think they're mad that the thing is tone deaf in nature or whatever. I think they're mad because people are having a hard time living. Do you know what I mean? It's like they are kind of the easy placeholder right now for how we feel about how the actual world is. No one's really mad at them. If they had gone and come back, you wouldn't have known. That's how little it affects our actual lives. But we're mad because we see it, and we see because the thing with the Blue Origin as well is we don't actually know how much it costs to go up. And we know some people get invited to go up and some people have to pay. But they do a thing, and this is very crafty. This is how the rich stay rich, right? We know that it's $150K deposit if you want to go. We don't know what the next installments are. And I feel like we don't know what the next installments are so they can charge people different stuff. Because maybe you put down 150 and then you have to pay another 150 to go up, and then you put down 150 but you got to pay 500,000 to go up, and as long as y'all don't talk, it's all good. Because these people come together from all walks of life and all these different places in the world, and they go up. But for a similar flight, for a similar flight to what they did, there was a guy who paid $28 million. All right? He's allowed to be mad. He's allowed to be mad that anybody got to do it for free because 28 million, even if you're a billionaire, 28 million is still a dent. That's wild, 28 million. So I'm just saying, it's wild that thing, we're assuming anyone on that flight had to pay. I can't imagine Bezos making his fiance pay. I don't know if anybody on that flight paid. And I know that the only poor version that we have of what they did is froyo. Because you ever been filling up your cup And you don't have that much of your account, so you gotta fill it with hope. You gotta hope that like, that's a lot of air. That's a lot of air. Let's just put it on the weight right here. $5.50, thank goodness. One time I was getting froyo and I was by myself, but there was a woman checking out before me, and she had stuffed it, got the cookie dough in there, and she had the M&Ms. She had a couple extra flavors. It was high. It was like a little pyramid of froyo and everything. And then old boy went to ring her up, and it was $135. And I was like, I know he lifting the scale because I'm looking at $17 easy. And then it was my turn. And I put my little one flavor with 2 popping bobas in there. And he rang me up for $13.59. And I was like, so, you got your thumb on it or what you do? This is crazy. Because I don't think we're that mad at them. I think what's actually happening is that it's very hard to get by right now, and it's hard to escape. And I don't know, everyone could use a little escapism one way or another, and we're losing access to that because whether you want to go on spring break, and spring break is the most expensive it's been in potentially recorded history, or you want to just go to Coachella. Coachella tickets. So I didn't even know this was happening. Apparently there are people that are like financing their Coachella trip in like installments. Like they putting Coachella on layaway. And it's not like some people. Apparently it's like 60% of ticket goers are like on a payment plan for Coachella, which is insane. That's wild. That you, in increments, long after, you still paying for Coachella, long after Coachella and stuff. And then you see these people who get a break. They get to go to space for free. And you know they could have paid. You know they could afford to pay it. You get angry. And I think people would be less angry if they just went ahead and whether they did a whole flight or half a flight filled with people who just need a break. You know what I mean? That's all you gotta do. Just get like two of the most tired moms you can find. And you barely have to pitch them. It's like, look, you will be weightless for 5 minutes. They'll be like, put it in my veins. You know, just find like one server who's done like 2 doubles in 2 days. You will go to space and you won't be able to hear anything. Yes, that sounds right. You know, just somebody's down on their luck, just needs a pick-me-up. Somebody who life has been incredibly hard for. You just grab them and you tell them, hey, I'm going to give you a trip to space. It won't be long, but it'll be spectacular. You will see Earth in the way that few people will ever get to in their entire lives. You'll see the beauty of the entirety of the planet, and you'll see how small all these people, all these problems, all these things are in the grand scheme of the universe. And Katy Perry will sing "What a Wonderful World" like Louis Armstrong to you. It'll be spectacular. Y'all been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate